Hello dear student, welcome to our new session of electric potential and capacitor. The previous lectures will be delivered by me to you is on live platform. From now we'll record the class and go ahead further. So we'll already discuss about the potential difference and potential energy difference. So if we'll see the formula what we discussed in last class, it is VB minus VA, that is potential difference between 2 points A and B is equals to minus integral E vector dot dr vector. Limit is RA to RB, where we can consider RA is nothing but initial position vector and RB is nothing but final position vector. Dr is displacement, E vector is electric field. So if VV minus VA is there, it means change in electric potential, or we can say potential difference between 2 points. So potential difference between 2 points can also be write as delta V. So delta V is equals to minus integral RA to RB E vector dot dr vector. So I am considering, suppose the particle means charge and we are dealing with electric potential. So we know that the value of charge is always 1 coulomb. So suppose particle is moving from x is equals to x is equals to infinity. My dear student, remember this thing. I am only moving the charge, or we can say we are moving the particle only along x-axis. So if particle is moving only along x-axis, it means y and z remains constant because particle is moving only along x-axis. So what we'll write, the particle is moving from x is equals to x is equals to infinity. It implies the value of x1 is x and the value of x2 is infinity. So we'll write V infinity, that is final, minus Vx, that is initial, Vb minus Va is equals to minus integral. See, Ra vector can be write as x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap, and Rb vector can be write as x2 I cap plus y2 j cap plus z2 k cap. We know the formula of position vector. The formula of position vector is x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. Now see my dear student, the particle is moving only along x-axis. It means y1, y2, z1, z2 becomes 0 because particle is only moving along x-axis. So instead of Ra to Rb, we can write the coordinates along x-axis on which particle is moving. So particle is moving from x1 to x infinity. It means x1 is x and x2 is infinity. Rest y1, z1, y2, z2 becomes 0, or we can say constant because particle is only moving along x-axis. So we know that at infinite point the value of potential is nothing but is equals to 0. So V infinity can be considered to be 0, and let's suppose at point x the value of potential is V. I am supposing that at point x the value of potential is V. So 0 minus V is equals to minus x to infinity E vector dot dr vector. These formula are valid if electric field is variable, my dear student. As we already discussed, if electric field is constant, then what is the value of potential difference between 2 points? So E vector dot dr vector. So potential negative cancelled. So V is equals to minus integral x to infinity E vector dot dr vector. Now as the particle is moving along x-axis, so I am differentiating the value of potential with respect to x. Differentiating the value of potential with respect to x. So dV by dx is equals to minus d over dx, and value of V is minus integral x to infinity E vector dot dx. And I already tell you, my dear student, what is the formula of differentiation of any integral. It is nothing but function with upper limit minus, function with lower limit minus function with, my dear student, upper limit, that is Ex minus E infinity. And you have to remember one more thing, at infinite distance the value of electric field is considered to be again 0. Similar to value of potential at infinity is 0. Similar to electric field at infinite point is considered to be 0. So dV by dx is equals to minus Ex minus E infinity is nothing but 0. So dV by dx is equals to minus Ex. So negative comes this side. So Ex is equals to minus dV by dx. This is the value of electric field, or we can say relation between electric field and change in electric potential. So from this formula we'll discuss our topic, today's topic. So what we'll get, my dear student, we'll get Ex, that is electric field along x-axis, is equals to minus dV by dx. Now see, my dear student, this electric field is get if the particle is moving only along x-axis. So if particle is moving only along x-axis, then y and z remains constant. So I'll write here keeping yz constant. Keeping yz constant. Similarly, if particle is moving along y-axis. So my dear student, if particle is moving along y-axis, then what happen? X and z remains constant. So it will be Ey is equals to minus dV by dy, x and z keeping, my dear student, constant. Next, if particle is moving only along z-axis, so I'll write here if particle is moving along the z-axis. So dear student, if particle is moving only along z-axis, then x and y remains constant. So it will be Ez is equals to minus dV by dz, and x and y are keeping, dear student, constant. So what we'll see here? We'll see here if potential is there, and you have to differentiate the potential with respect to x, along with a negative sign, we'll get electric field. This negative implies that potential and electric field are opposite by nature. As we already know, if we'll go in increasing form of potential, if we'll go increasing form of potential, then electric field is decreased by the factor Ed. So my dear student, what we'll see here that if we are differentiating the potential with respect to x, we'll get electric field along x-axis. If we'll differentiate potential with respect to y, we'll get electric field along y-axis. If we'll differentiate the potential with respect to z, we'll get electric field along z-axis. One more thing is there, see, electric field is vector quantity and electric potential is a scalar quantity. So this shows if you will differentiate scalar, you will get vector quantity. Write down in form of note. If we differentiate scalar quantity, write down, if we differentiate scalar quantity, we will get vector quantity. If we differentiate scalar quantity, we'll get vector quantity. Now moving forward, my dear student, this is a kind of new differentiation in which we are differentiating the particle with respect to x, keeping y and z constant. So this kind of differentiation is called partial differentiation. See what actually partial differentiation is. Partial differentiation. This kind of differentiation is called partial differentiation. If we are keeping constant some terms and differentiate the function by keeping terms constant, some terms constant, I'll write here, if we differentiate the function, by keeping by keeping some terms constant. If we differentiate the function by keeping some term constant, then that type of differentiation is called partial differentiation. Then that type of differentiation is called partial differentiation. See here, we are keeping constant y and z, so this is again a partial differentiation. Keeping x and z is constant, so we will differentiating in terms of partial. This is also a partial differentiation. So remember, my dear student, there is a new term called partial differentiation. So partial differentiation means keeping some terms constant and differentiating the function. So partial differentiation is symbolized by del. It is represented by del. So we can also write it as Ex is equals to minus del V by del x. It represents, del represents we are doing partial differentiation and we are differentiating the potential with respect to x. It means y and z is constant. Similarly, we can write Ey, it is minus del V by del y. This del represents we are doing partial differentiation and we are differentiating the potential with respect to y. It means x and z are keeping, my dear student, constant. Similarly, if we'll move forward, then we can write Ez is equals to minus of del V by del Z. So del V by del Z represents we are differentiating the potential by keeping x and y constant. So I'll write here Ez is equals to minus del V by del Z. It means x and y are keeping constant. So this is the value of electric field along z axis. This is the value of electric field along y-axis. This is the value of electric field along x-axis. So this type of differentiation is called partial differentiation, my dear student. Remember this thing. Partial differentiation means keeping any two terms constant and differentiating the function with respect to single term. So del v minus del v by del x, minus del v by del y and minus del v by del z. Moving forward, my dear student, as we know, electric field is equals to, the term was Ex I cap plus Ey j cap plus Ez k cap. Now put the value of electric field along x-axis, along y-axis and along z-axis. So what we'll get? We'll get E vector is equals to minus del v by del x I cap minus del v by del y j cap minus del v by del z and it is k cap. So this is the formula of electric field when electric field is, my dear student, variable. As we already discussed the relation, it is E vector is equals to Ex I cap plus Ey j cap plus Ez k cap. So instead of Ex, I'll write minus del v by del x I cap minus del v by del y j cap minus del v by del z k cap. So this is the value of electric field. Now we are discussing partial differentiation. What actually partial differentiation is and how we'll perform partial differentiation. So write down, my dear student, this is just an example how we'll perform partial differentiation I'm showing you. So write down partial differentiation. Remember, partial differentiation is basically nothing but keeping constant any two term and rest differentiate the function with respect to any single term. So let's suppose we have a value of potential. Let's say V is equals to, write down, the value of potential is V is equals to 3x square y cube. 3x square y cube, and in question they are saying find the value of electric field along x-axis, or we can say let the particle is moving along x-axis, then find the value of electric field. As we know that if potential is there, then we have to differentiate the potential with respect to x, as we are finding electric field along x-axis by keeping y and z constant. So keeping y and z constant means we have to perform partial differentiation. And how partial differentiation will be performed? See my dear student, it is Ex can be write as minus del v by del x, keeping y and z, dear student, constant. So see, there is a term y which remains constant. There is another term 3 which is also constant. Let us put first the value. It is minus del over del x, and value of v is 3x square y cube. So I am differentiating it by keeping y and z constant, means 3 is itself constant, so 3 can be right outside, y cube is also constant, and differentiation of x square, because we are differentiating the function with respect to only x. So differentiation of x square, it is 2x. So electric field along x-axis is minus 6x y cube. This is how we have to perform partial differentiation. Remember my dear student, this is how we'll perform partial differentiation. It is minus Ex y cube. Let us take one more example. Let's suppose we have a value of potential. Let's say it is 3x raised power 2 y raised power 4, and we have to find electric field along y-axis. Now see, if we wish to find electric field along y-axis, it means particle is moving only along y-axis. So keeping x and z constant. So I am keeping x and z constant. So electric field along y-axis can be right minus del v by del x minus del v by del y, keeping x and z to be constant. So in potential, in the value of potential, there is no z is present. So if z is not present, then it's okay. We'll write Ey is equals to minus del over del y. The value of v is 3x square y raised power 4. Now see my dear student, 3 is constant, x is keeping constant. So we have to differentiate only y raised power 4. So it will be minus 3 into 4 y raised power 3 and x square. So Ey becomes equals to 4 3s are 12 y cube x square. So this is the value of electric field along y-axis. Let us consider one more example my dear student. I am taking one more example. I hope you all are understanding how we have to perform partial differentiation. I hope you all are getting the process of partial differentiation. Let's suppose potential can be right as let's say 4y square 3z square and x. So 4y square 3z square x, and let's suppose we have to find electric field along z-axis. So if we are finding electric field along z-axis, it implies that we have to differentiate this potential only with respect to z, keeping x and y constant. So I'll write here Ez is equals to del v by del z minus keeping x and y, my dear student, constant. I am performing only the partial differentiation. I am trying to teach you partial differentiation. So Ez is equals to minus del over del z. The value of v is 4 y square 3 z square and x. So we have to keep x and y constant. So Ez is equals to minus 4 is constant, y is constant, x is constant, 3 is constant. So 4 3s are 12. I'll write y square and x, and we have to differentiate only z. So z square, it is 2z. So I'll write here into 2z. So Ez is equals to minus 24x y square and z. This is how we have to perform partial differentiation, my dear student. I hope you all understand how we are performing partial differentiation. Now moving forward, we have to discuss the we have to discuss the numerical. If potential is given, then how to find electric field. So write down a question. It is, if the value of electric potential, write down, if the value of electric potential is given by equation, if the value of electric potential is given by equation V is equals to is given by equation v is equals to 6x cube y raised to the power 4, 6x cube y raised to the power 4 and z raised to the power 5. If the value of potential is v is equals to is 6x raised power 3 y raised power 4 z raised to the power 5, then find the value of electric field. Find the value of electric field vector. Find the value of electric field vector. Find the value of electric field vector. So we know that, my dear student, E vector is nothing but minus del V by del X I cap minus del V by del Y J cap minus del V by del Z and K cap. So we have to find first minus del V by del X, then we have to find del V by del Y, then we have to find del V by del Z. When we are finding del V by del X, it means we have to take Y and Z to be constant. Similarly, when we are finding del V by del Y, it means we have to take constant X and Z. Similarly, when we are finding del V by del Z, it means we have to take constant X and Y. So first of all, I'll find this is nothing but Ex, this is nothing but Ey, this is nothing but Ez. So first we have to find Ex, it is minus del V by del X, keeping Y and Z, dear student, constant. So Ex is equals to minus del over del X, the value of V is 6x cube y raised power 4 z raised power 5. So Ex is equals to minus, we have to differentiate only x, keeping y and z constant. So 6 3s are 18, x square y raised power 4 and z raised power 5. So this is the value of electric field along x-axis. Similarly, we have to find electric field along y-axis. It is minus del V by del Y, keeping x and z to be, dear student, constant. So what we'll get? Ey is equals to minus del over del Y. The value of V is 6x cube y raised power 4 z raised power 5. So Ey is equals to 6x and z is constant. So 6x cube is constant, z raised power 5 is again constant. So y raised power 4 is nothing but 4y cube. So 6 4s are 24, x cube y cube z raised to the power 5. This is the value of electric field along y-axis, keeping x and z constant. Similarly, we have to find electric field along z-axis. It is minus del V by del z, keeping x and y, dear student, what? Constant. So Ez is equals to minus del V by del z. It is 6x cube y raised to the power 4 z raised power 5. So what we have to will get? Remember, dear student, we have to differentiate only with respect to z, keeping x and y constant. So 6 is constant, x raised power 3 is constant, y raised power 4 is constant, z raised power 5. We have to differentiate z because we are partially differentiating. Partially means only single term. So 5 comes outside and it will be z raised to the power 4. So this is the value of electric field along z-axis. If I'll multiply 6 5s are 30, so Ez is equals to minus 30 x raised to the power 3 y raised to the power 4 and z raised power 4. This is the value of electric field along z-axis. Now put Ex, Ey and Ez in this equation. So what we'll get? We'll get E vector is nothing but Ex I cap minus Ey j cap minus Ez k cap. We have to put the value of Ex, Ey and Ez. It is nothing but E vector is equals to Ex is minus 18x square y raised to power 4 z raised power 5 I cap minus Ey. So Ey is 24 x cube y raised to the power 3 z raised power 4 minus Ez. It is 6x cube y raised to the power 4 and it is 6 5s are 30. So 30x cube y raised power 4 and z raised power 4. So this is the value of electric field. I hope you all understand this concept, my dear student. Remember, if potential is there and you wish to find electric field, then you have to differentiate the potential with respect to the term along which you wish to find electric field. So remember, this is what we are discussing and how we'll perform partial differentiation. I hope you all understand all the concepts. Now moving forward, my dear student, see, next is, if we'll see the formula of electric field, the value of electric field is minus dV by dx or minus dV by dy or minus dV by dz, means change in potential, differentiating the potential with respect to displacement. What we'll get? Ex is equals to minus dV by dx or Ey is equals to minus dV by dz or Ez is equals to minus dV by dz, dy and dz. So basically what we are performing differentiation with respect to displacement. So see, this term dV by dr means change in potential with respect to change in displacement. This term is called potential gradient. Potential gradient. So write down the definition of potential gradient. Write down the definition of potential gradient. The quantity dV by dr. Write down the definition of potential gradient. The quantity dV by dr is the rate of change of potential. With respect to distance. Rate of change of potential with respect to distance is called potential gradient. Is called potential gradient. This dV by dr means change in potential with respect to distance is called potential gradient. I hope you all understand this concept, my dear student. Moving forward, we have to discuss two basic theorem which you'll covered in first year. So write down this theorem is very important to analyze the numerical. I'm just we'll get a quick revision on this, because we already learned this theorem in first year in chapter work, power and energy. So write down work energy theorem. Write down work energy theorem. Work energy theorem. Work energy theorem. So work energy theorem says, work energy theorem, this is only concept, this is not the part of this chapter, my dear student. This topic is covered in first year in chapter work, power, energy, but I'll give a quick revision on this. Work energy theorem is characterized into two parts. One is work energy theorem for single particle. Work energy theorem for single particle, and second is work energy theorem for system of particle. So we have two different work energy theorem. One is work energy theorem for single particle. If single particle is there, then we are using work energy theorem for single particle. And if more than one particle means whole system is there, because if in any situation more than one particle is there, then we are considering more than one particle to be a system. So work energy theorem for single particle and work energy theorem for system of particle. So work energy theorem of system of particle says work done by all force is equal to change in kinetic energy of particle. change in kinetic energy of particle. Remember this statement, work done by all the forces acting on a single particle will change its kinetic energy. This is considered to be work energy theorem for single particle. I'll write here, work done by all the forces is equals to change in kinetic energy. We can write it as K final minus K initial. So remember my dear student, work done by all the forces acting on a single particle will change its kinetic energy. Change in kinetic energy means K final minus K initial. Work done by all force means all the forces which are acting on particle, either it is external force, either it is frictional force, either it is normal reaction force, whatsoever forces, work done by all the forces is equal to change in kinetic energy of particle. It means work done is equals to K final minus K initial. This is called work energy theorem for single particle. Moving forward my dear student, we are discussing now work energy theorem for system of particle. System of particle means more than one particle. If more than one particle is present, then we cannot use work energy theorem for single particle. In that case, we'll use work energy theorem for system of particles. So work done by all force, work done by external force, work done by external force and force of friction, work done by external force and force of friction is equal to change in total energy of the system. Change in total energy of the system. See, basically work energy theorem for system of particles says work done by external force means push or pull, work done by external force plus work done by friction is equals to change in total energy of the system. So work done by external force plus work done by friction can be write as E final minus E initial. This is the formula of work energy theorem for system of particle. Remember, system of particle means more than one particle. If more than one particle is present, then we can consider it as system. And if single particle is there, then we can consider it as particle. More than one particle is considered to be system. Single particle is considered to be system, particle itself. So work done by external force. External force means, my dear student, push or pull. Only two things are there in form of external force. So work done by external force and force of friction is equal to change in total energy of system. One more thing is very important, my dear student. You cannot talk about total energy of single particle. We can only talk total energy for group of particle, which is called system. So work done by external force and force of friction is equal to change in total energy of system. It implies work done by external force plus work done by friction is equals to change in total energy, and total energy means E final minus E initial. And you have to know, my dear student, when we are talking about E final, it means K final plus U final, means kinetic final kinetic energy plus final potential energy. Similarly, if we are talking about initial potential energy, it is equals to K initial plus U initial, K initial plus U initial. K initial means initial kinetic energy of system and U initial means initial potential energy of system. K final means final kinetic energy of system and U final means final potential energy of system. So I hope you all understand these two basic theorems. You have to remember these two theorems. Work energy theorem, these theorems is considered to be work energy theorem. So work energy theorem is classified into two types. Remember, one is work energy theorem for single particle and second is work energy theorem for group of particle, which is also called system. So for single particle, it is work done by all the forces acting on a single particle will change its kinetic energy. And if I am talking about work energy theorem for group of particle, it is equals to change in total energy. Work done by external force plus work done by friction is equals to, my dear student, change in total energy. So where we have to use this concept, just think, write down write down if electric field is present, write down if electric field is present in any region, if electric field is present in any region, if electric field is present in any region and charge is taken from point A to point B, and charge is taken from point A to point B, and charge is taken from point A to point B, find work done to move the charge, find work done to move the charge from point A to point B, find work done to move the charge, find work done to move the charge from point A to point B, from point A to point B, point A to point B, point A to point B. So my dear student, just see, we have a point A, we are taking a charge Q from point A to point B. Let's suppose the coordinates of point A is XA, YA and ZA. Coordinates of point B is XB, YB and ZB, and we are taking the charge from point A to point B in an electric field zone, in an electric field zone. And in question they are saying find the work done for taking charge. See my dear student, as we have to take charge from point A to point B, so we are applying external force, but here no friction is there. So see my dear student, we have two different points, so we are using work energy theorem for system, that is work done by external force plus work done by friction is equals to change in total energy, that is E final minus E initial. Now see, there is no friction is there, so work done by friction is always considered to be 0. So work done by external force is equals to E final minus E initial, E final minus E initial. Now see, the charge is taken from point A to point B. So when charge is present at point A, at that time charge is at rest. Similarly, if I am taking charge at point B, so at point B charge is also at rest. So if charge is at rest, if charge at rest, we know that velocity becomes 0. So velocity at A is also 0, velocity at B is also 0, and if velocity is 0, it means kinetic energy at point A is 0 and kinetic energy at point B is also 0. So work done by external can be write as E final means K final plus U final minus K initial plus U initial. K final means final kinetic energy and U final means final potential energy minus K initial, it is initial kinetic energy, plus U initial is initial potential energy. So we'll write work done by external force is equals to K final is 0, so 0 plus UB minus 0 plus UA. So we can write work done by external force is equals to UB minus UA. Work done by external force is equals to UB minus UA. Now we all know that there is a relation, that is UB minus UA is equals to Q movable, which is equals to VB minus VA. Take this movable charge here, so what we'll get? We'll get UB minus UA is equals to Q movable VB minus VA. This relation is already performed by us, so I hope you all understand this thing. So work done by external can be write as Q movable VB minus, my dear student, VA. VB minus VA. As we know that VB minus VA can be write as minus integral E vector dot dr vector, and we are taking the charge from point A to point B. So we can write it as work done by external force is equals to minus Q integral E vector dot dr vector from RA vector to RB vector. So this is the value of work done by external force for taking a charge from point A to point B. I hope you all understand this concept, my dear student. Work done by external force is equals to minus Q. Q is movable charge, integral RA to RB, E vector dot dr vector. Remember, E vector is nothing but electric field and dr vector is nothing but displacement vector. Moving forward, I hope you all understand this concept. Work done by external force for taking charge from point A to point B is minus Q. Q is magnitude of movable charge, integral RA to RB. RA to RB means initial position and RB is final position, E vector dot dr vector. So I hope you all understand this concept. Moving forward, my dear student, write down next topic, very important topic related to your IP exam, which is called board exam. Write down equipotential surface. Write down next topic, it is equipotential surface. Equipotential surface. Equipotential surface is our next topic. Very important topic and very easy to understand. Equipotential surface. So our next topic is equipotential surface. Equipotential surface, I am writing here equipotential surface. As we already discussed a formula, that is VB minus VA is equals to minus ED cos theta. This formula is applicable when electric field is, my dear student, constant. So let's suppose if electric field is in this side and I am displacing a charge from point A to point B, if we are seeing here, then electric field is perpendicular to displacement. Electric field is perpendicular to displacement. Let's suppose the potential of point A is VA and potential of point B is VB. Electric field is in this direction and displacement is in this direction. So displacement of particle, or we can say displacement of charge, is from A to B. So displacement and electric field becomes 90 degree. So if electric field and displacement is 90 degree, so VB minus VA is equals to minus ED cos 90, and we know that cos 90 is nothing but 0. So VB minus VA becomes equals to 0. So VB is equals to, my dear student, VA. It implies that if potential at point A is 1 volt, then potential at point B is also 1 volt, and if I am taking another point, let's suppose C, then C is also having potential of 1 volt. So what it implies? It implies if we move perpendicular to the electric field, no change in potential can take place. I'll write here, if we move perpendicular to the electric field, then no change in electric potential, can takes place. No change in electric potential can take place, and if no change in electric potential can take place, then that surface is called equipotential surface. Then that surface is called equipotential surface. Meaning of equipotential surface is the space or the surface on which each point carries same potential, and this only happens if electric field is perpendicular to, my dear student, displacement. So write down the definition of equipotential surface. Write down equipotential surface. An equipotential surface equipotential surface is such a surface, an equipotential surface is such a surface where each point has same potential, where each point has same potential. Equipotential surface are those surface where potential remains constant or remains same, where potential remains constant or remains same. So in next class, my dear student, we'll discuss more about equipotential surface. I hope you all are studying well. Please try to revise again and again, because each topic is related to next topic. So you have only command on physics if you have very good revision program. So make your revision program very appropriate and go through all the notes, all the videos. Then only you'll connect the topic with next one. So I hope you all understand. In next class, we'll discuss equipotential surface. Thank you so much, my dear student. Take care, stay happy, stay safe, and work hard. Thank you so much.